So, the first question is that music? Yesterday, I went and I auditioned at the U to get into the music program, see if I can get a scholarship. I made it, but we'll see. It's not about scholarship. So, this right here, it has no pitches. It's only one note. I can't get, I can try and do different sounds. I can do stick clicks and stuff, I can do little rolls, but it's all mainly rhythm. I can't change the pitch, even if I'm, like put my elbow on it or something. It just doesn't work that way. But we still accept it as music. So if you guys think that music has to have pitch, you're wrong from the start, okay? So we're going to change the way that you guys think about music. I'm going to pass this around so you guys can look at it. As you guys see, it's all just rhythms there. That's all I do with this. So when we get to the piano, you guys start to think of more melodic, all that kind of music. We have to start from the beginning to really figure out what music is. But first, I want you guys to understand what I'm trying to explain to you. There's a song called 4 minutes and 33 seconds, written by John Cage, performed by David Tudor. What he did is imagine you guys are all sitting in a big concert hall. It's one of those that people come and they pay hundreds of dollars to see. He simply walks on stage before the whole entire crowd. They're expecting some big spectacle, but here he has a new song. He sits down at the piano, raises up the keyboard, and starts a timer. And he sits there for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And that's the first movement of the song. And he goes through 2 other movements where he just sits there. And he waits till the timer stops, and when the timer stops for each movement, he stands up from the piano and bows. Everybody's like, dude, you didn't even do anything. Like, we just got gypped, right? But he wasn't the actual performer for that. He was the one that instigated it, but really, the audience, you guys, were the performers. Because what's happening when you have that many people packed into a concert hall and he's being silent? There's only the sounds of the audience. I know for sure that whenever you guys are part of a crowd, there's always people coughing, there's people sneezing, there's people like babies crying and stuff, all that, car alarms going off, crickets, I don't know. It all works, right? But that's all part of the music. So if that's music, then how do we define it? So I want to convince you guys that 4 minutes and 33 seconds is music. Even though it doesn't have pitch, even though the guy didn't play anything, he was not the performer. You guys all were, and that's what created the music. Everybody has a little bit of music inside of them. I've been teaching piano for almost 8 years now, and I've seen a lot of students who didn't do the greatest, and they kind of gave up pretty quickly, and other students who just immediately shut off. It's fantastic to see that. But I've learned one thing, that even those students who did not excel at the very beginning, still were able to come up, and if they persisted with it, if they kept that mentality going, then they could become great. There's a lot of people in the band here at school who I would say got a lot to go on. But the thing is that as I've seen them go throughout the years, they get better. It happens with everyone. If you guys know, of course Paul Marley, but there's some other people and they've done little things with what's called a pentatonic scale. And he'll start, and he'll bounce here, and he'll say, ha, and everybody would sing it. Go ahead. Ha. Good. We're going to go up. Ha. Back here. See? And you guys all already know. It's just part of the human ability. We all have these different things. And he goes through and he makes this whole entire song, and all he does is jump around. Okay? So we can all learn to understand this. So let's start with the beginning of music. We go back way in time, and there's string instruments. There's all these different complex instruments started back then and everything. When we start with the Baroque period, which is mainly from about 1600 to about 1750, we had a main man, Bach. Bach was awesome. He really started to write down theory and organize music, okay? He set the foundation for what I've been learning in music theory and what I teach to my students still today. Then, as we start to get into the next period, it starts at about 1700, so it overlaps. That's how music always works, with art, with everything. It always overlaps between periods. So when we're moving on to the 1700s, we get into classical. And Bach teaches this child prodigy, who I'm extremely jealous of, kind of beta, named Mozart. So Mozart starts to do things with little scales. And he starts to make little songs. Right? He has different little things, and he starts to organize music, and then he moves it into sonata forms, he starts to create forms. So we start to see that everything had a melody up until that point. Then we start to get into the Romantic period after that, and that's when emotion really starts to become a part of it. So all you guys who win the survey said that music needs to make you feel emotion. Wrong. Not until really that point, okay? You have to break down what you guys know to understand. We have to take that full glass of water that you guys have and take out a little so we can learn some new things. When we get into the Romantic period, we finally start to get this emotion, and we have Debussy, who really started pioneering a bunch of new concepts. And at first people were like, dude, you're breaking the rules, you can't do that. But he understood the rules first, and then understood how to break them. He started to revolutionize it. So, this is called the arabesque, number 1. So we have that, and you start to feel, this kind of moving sort of melody. Sometimes they're a little more sad. Beethoven's the one who actually started the Romantic period. Right? We all know that. It's classic. Chopin starts to bring us a funeral march. Right? And also you just have all this motion, and it just totally breaks the boundaries of music. And we have all these different things we can do. So what do you guys think is the next period of music? Do you think it's Taylor Swift? You guys think we got Jason Derulo, pumping up our new beats and everything, and that's what we have now? No. There's a period going on right now that we choose to ignore, called contemporary music. So right after Romantic, when rules start to be getting broken, all of a sudden, we have John Cage and some of his other contemporaries who come out and they say, no, I can do different things. I don't want to go around and just keep doing what they've been doing. I can do more stuff. So while we still think that sometimes we're in the Romantic period because we're using all these different kinds of music, such as, dubstep to get us pumped up and everything, it gives us emotion. Sometimes it makes you angry. You want to get in a fight and everything. It's not like that. And we can't understand what period of music we're in until it's past. Music has changed due to culture. Right? We got Asian music. We have different kinds. There's Arabic. Every culture has different music. With African music, there's a lot of percussion and stuff. Right? They have different things. They started using marimbas and everything. But everyone has their own things. And also venues impact music. When you start in a concert hall, everybody is paying attention to you. You do all that you can to make them feel the music that they want to feel and everything. And nobody can cough or stop the performance or anything, or go and pick up their cell phone and be like, yo, what's up? I just got to talk to you about this. They got to go, and you have to go on the performance, give them everything that you got. Now when you get to the rock sort of era and stuff, a little Elvis here and everything, you're in the garage stage and everything, and it's just, all this music is just hitting you. It doesn't matter. And that's where we really start to lose dynamics. Dynamics has to do with how quiet, how loud, how fast you're playing, all those different things. So, when you start to get to that, then we start to get to the radio. And the radio, forgive me, kind of butchered music a bit. There's no dynamics on the radio. Sure, there's sometimes where they'll create dynamics by starting with one instrument and then have it build up until there's more instruments, but really, songs do not move between quiet and loud on the radio, because when you're rocking out with your friends and everything, then the music is going to have to stay the same, so that it's, keeps up that energy and everything, because that's what we want, and that's where we get pop music. Pop music, 100% of you guys that I surveyed said that you liked it to some capacity, okay? So, when I asked you guys about heavy metal music, only 30% of you liked it, okay? Obviously, big difference there, but there is people who like it. So when we're talking about contemporary music, where people start to do weird things, there are people who are going to like it. Obviously, the composer won't be writing it if it wasn't making them money and everything, and that they didn't enjoy it. So with contemporary music, there's people who would take the pianos, like Schoenberg, who's one of the first ones, and he'd start to put twigs and stuff on the piano. He'd call it prepared piano. He'd write diagrams and maps and stuff of all the things that you have to put on the piano to give it its unique sounds. So say I was to put, twigs on the strings, it's going to totally change the sound, and it'll give you something totally different, okay? When we're moving in to different kinds of music, we need to make sure that we're paying attention to what it could have the potential for. If music is going to continue to move, we have to be willing to accept new things. Art is always moving on. We always have different people doing different things, right? The red block, also in the middle of the portrait, is art now. Apparently, okay? That's what's happening with music, and we have to be willing to accept what could happen, or else it's never going to progress. So, let's pretend. It's okay.
Listen. Very good.
So, obviously, set because some people aren't going to like that. With 4 minutes and 33 seconds, he did something revolutionary. He changed the way that we're thinking about music, saying that we don't need pitches. We don't need to necessarily have rhythms and stuff. Music is basically an organization of sound of some sorts, and that's basically it if you think about it. You have to really make a broad definition because music encompasses so much. So what he did is he did 4 minutes, 33 seconds. There's your organization. The time that you're waiting doesn't go past that, doesn't go before that. It's 4 minutes and 33 seconds, so it is organized, and that is music. So without further ado, I challenge you guys to envision a world where we can have different kinds of music, where we can accept these new ideals and see how 4 minutes and 33 seconds and other contemporary art that's going on today but is simply being ignored can actually be a part of music.